Let's see. All right, I'm live. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the place for the more mature entrepreneur who might have a business up and running, who wants to engage in content marketing, or they want to be more strategic about the content marketing that they're doing, maybe a small team is doing for them or with them, so that they're not just engaging in random acts of content, but that they are actually having content marketing that is capable of driving traffic to their business so that they can do more business. Every day in January 2022, I am going live on my YouTube channel. So it's one-on group free live coaching every single day. The first link that I posted down below is to my playlist for all of the replays that lead up to today's coaching. Okay. So every day can stand on its own, but for best results, we kind of do start at the beginning and one day at a time, we like layer one teaching on top of the next. It's all free. So the first link that is down below is for the 2022 Business Reboot Advice playlist. Okay. All of the content on my channel is arranged into playlists. So you have playlists if you want to market well on Instagram. You have playlists for Instagram Reels. You have playlists that have to do with TikTok. I even have a separate TikTok growth playlist. I got a 7-figure client of mine to get to over 820 something thousand fans or followers on TikTok. And yes, it drives them business. And I do discuss in many of those TikTok growth videos in that playlist how that actually shows up as extra money for a single location brick and mortar business. Now, if you're not a brick and mortar, that's fine. It doesn't matter if you're product based, handmade or not. It doesn't matter if you're a coach, a course creator. It doesn't matter if you offer services, you're all online, you're not. Content marketing does help. I have, over the last 8 going on 9 years of being a business coach, a content marketing coach, I have gotten more students of mine, no matter how old they are, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. I have students going up to 78 years old, and I have a few of them who have managed to go from not profitable to profitable, 5-figure to multiple 5-figure business. And I have quite a few 6-figure businesses under my belt, under my students' belts. And now I'm coaching folks with a couple of different 7-figure businesses. So I know what I'm talking about. I am who I say I am, and I can do what I say I can do. So today we are going to talk about shooting through the lens of like our entrepreneurial lives, how to reject rejection very effectively. I'm going to give you a tidy little acronym, and then we're going to go back and unpack every single element of that acronym and get real. Because for some of us, I could just say, hey, man, we're entrepreneurs. We're in the business of both marketing and selling on behalf of our business, especially while we're solopreneurs, especially while we're an entrepreneur with a small team. Maybe we're getting into a more intermediate level of business. We can put beginner behind us. That's great. But, I mean, 1 out of 10 people yes, and they will make a purchase, or they will give you another type of macro conversion, like follow you on social or get on your email list. But like 9 are probably going to tell you, nope. And that's a form of rejection that entrepreneurs have to get used to. And a lot of people, like once I help you connect to that intellectually, like mentally, emotionally, you're like, okay, and I'll walk it off. But there's a lot of people who are like, that's not so easy for me, Stacey. I'm a different personality type. What kind of advice can you give me? Because every time I go to look at my email list and, prune any unsubscribes away, it's like a knife in my heart when somebody wants to unsubscribe from my list. And it's easy for you to tell me, Stacey, that as my list gets bigger, I'll get thicker skin about it. And as long as I grow my email list more than I have unsubscribes, I'm still fine and healthy. Because you're going to have to accept, and this is the truth, you're going to have to accept rejection in this business. You're going to have to accept unsubscribes or people telling you no, or people very snidely telling you, I can get that cheaper over there. And yes, this can happen for handmade businesses, but it can happen for products-based businesses. It can happen for people in the services industry, and it can certainly happen to coaches and course creators. I can get everything I want on YouTube for free. Yeah, except you don't know what you don't know, so you're missing big, large pieces of things. So yeah, you might need to buy someone's course, or you might need to get into this boot camp to at least give yourself a boot, a kickstart. I'm certainly not the only person selling services out there, but you guys, you're in marketing and sales. And even once you get to be more advanced, and I have quite a few students after 8 going on 9 years of doing this stuff, I have very advanced students who have multiple six-figure businesses, seven-figure businesses, one that's about to be multiple seven figures if their sales go well this year, another one that is multiple seven. Like, I can't even tell you enough, but the bigger you are, the harder you can fall. The bigger the volume, the more the tinfoil hat crazies come out. The bigger the volume, yes, if you're doing things right, the more, people you'll get joining your social community for your brand-based, community, the more people you'll get on your email list. But yes, on the flip side, the more unsubscribes you're going to get. So it's very important as your business becomes more profitable. Just quick little piece of advice. Then I'm going to greet my students. Then we're going to go into the teaching proper, and then I'll take Q&A at the end of it. But as you start making more money, as you are getting more profitable, more financially strong because of your business, and you're not a beginner anymore, you've worked out the kinks, you've got proof of concept, people who are not family and friends are buying from you. You know that your brand-based community, your followers, your subscribers, even if it's slow, they are growing from week to week. And you know that your email list is at least growing more than it's, shedding people or getting unsubscribes. And you know that when you put out an email or you announce a sale, it's not if you're going to make money, it's a matter of how much. For sure, at that point, we're painting with a broad brushstroke here. My Funnel Dynasty students know we have a more specific blueprint for beginners, intermediates, and advanced. But once you're ready, once what I just said sounds like, oh, that's about me, even if it's low and slow, I am growing. And I know that if I keep up with my content marketing and my email list and emailing my list at least once a week at a minimum, things are working, they're chugging along. Now you're intermediate. You should be profitable at some point. One of the first things you probably need to get is you need to invest in a customer service rep. If you're a products-based business, as Handmade or not, sure, that person can help you get sales out the door and pack things up and whatever, but they also might need to deal with damaged and defective for you. That's not so much of a rejection, but refund requests, those can feel like a rejection no matter what business model we have. And that's normal. James Wedmore, who is huge in the online community, the first thing he did was hire a customer service rep because he said, they could be asking for a refund in the nicest way. He's like, but it would still hurt my feelings. I'd feel bad. And I also felt like this is a missed opportunity because I know I could help them to do whatever. And now I feel bad for them and I feel bad for me. So he said, the healthiest thing I could have done, yes, I could have paid down my debt faster, but I wanted to invest in a customer service rep as soon as possible. Plus, and we've talked about this before when we were talking about Dream Team and stuff a couple of days ago. So again, if you missed any of these sessions, the first link that I pinned in the comments section while we're live, and I'll go back and repin it on the replay, is to the list of the replays, because now we're on day 15. We're roughly halfway through the month. I can't even believe it. Can you? But one of the first things you might want to do is invest in a customer service rep. Delegate out to them. They can do a refund just as fast as you can. They can handle damaged and defective, if applicable for your business model, just as well as you can. And it doesn't feel like so much stress and so much pressure and so much rejection. That's not the teaching proper. We're going to get into that in a minute. And for my coaches and course creators, you don't have to be the person resetting the password or giving them their login link for the zillionth time. You can get a customer service rep to do that. So, but before I get into how we can very effectively in the real world, even if we tend to wear our heart on our sleeves, we're that kind of person, how we can reject rejection because otherwise we're going to engage in self-sabotage. We're not going to send out the emails. We're not going to do the social media posts, especially the ones that we're asking for money. We'll be afraid to go live because we don't want the rejection, people complaining, right? We're scared. What if a nut job comes out, right? All right, so let's see. First, let me greet the students who are here on the live. And if you're on the replay, please put hashtag replay. I at least want to give you guys a heart and a thumbs up. I want to show you that I see that you're there and I see that you're investing the time in your business. So, hey, Sandy. Hey, Lenore. Hey, Carol. What's up? Hey, Ann McDonald. What's going on? Good to see you. I know it's the weekend, so I'm really impressed that you guys have a busy weekend and you're here live or on the replay. Hey, Bridget. Hey, Bridget and Darren. What's going on? Daniela. What's going on, Miss Daniela? I know you've had a lot on your plate. Hopefully good things are happening. Miss Marquina, who says that, she says that she's been homeschooling her kids. I know. It's, are they in public school? Are they not in public school? That is hard. It's a time of uncertainty, and it's not good for the kids, and it's not good for the adults, right? Hey, Kim Arnold, good to see you here. Hey, Michelle McLaughlin, glad you came by. All right, so I think I caught up with everyone on the live. Hashtag live, if you will, and hashtag replay. I want to see who's showing up when. And really quickly, and I will put this in the show notes below too, I put up another link to a video that I just dropped yesterday. So that video has to do with branding advice for all, not just for coaches. Throughout the rest of January, my pre-recorded videos, yes, they will be slanted towards coaches and course creators. And I do have quite a few students where that's some of, if not all, of how they view their business and their income streams. So if you're a coach or a course creator, yes, you want to check out that video and my other pre-recorded videos that should be dropping Monday through Friday. They should be coming up at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm experimenting with that time period. I might adjust it just to experiment if I don't love how many views these things are getting. But so far, so good. Okay, so sensitive souls need Q-tips to help reject their rejection. And if you're like, cotton swabs for my ears, that's not exactly what I need. So we're talking about the acronym Q-tip, QTIP. And the acronym stands for quit taking it personally. Now, if you're a really sensitive person, you wear your heart on your sleeve. Yes, you're functioning mentally, but you are more emotionally, right? From mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, like spiritually, those kind of buckets of humanity, right? You're big with the emotions, right? So some people, when the baseball game of life throws them a curveball, it might shake their game, but lots of times it doesn't, and they just keep moving forward. But some people, every curveball or almost every curveball or every unsubscribe, it's like someone's ripping a rib out of their side. Every person that asks for a refund, oh, it hurts you. It hurts you, right? Or you're so scared of unsubscribes. You're so scared consciously and or subconsciously of getting a refund request or someone complaining or someone challenging your prices that, oh, well, see, Stacey, I can't really launch my business because I will fill in the blank, some sort of explanation where I get to fail with honor instead of succeed, even if I'm bloody and sweaty and full of tears succeeding. I'm too scared to go that way because I'm such an emotional person. I'm so complicated that I'd rather fail with honor. See, I still can't get my branding right. I still haven't gotten my business cards. Yeah, I might even have a course that'll help me get a website up. But, since I can't do the branding yet, then I really can't do the website yet. Or I have to do even more ideal customer research. I need more time. And all you're doing is trying to keep yourself from having to be in the position of getting rejected and or disrespected. And I'm not saying you're a baby, but let's call a spade a spade. And if you want to have a real profitable business, more than you want to get the rejection, you're going to be able to find the wherewithal to keep moving forward. And we'll get into this Q-tip thing, in just a second. I understand that there's going to be different types of students. I'm going into my 9th year. I have had thousands of students all across the world, every time zone, and I think every continent. Maybe I'm missing one. But the bottom line is, I know I've had all sorts of personality types, mostly women, fair dosage of men too through the years. And I get people telling me, but I'm sensitive. I really care about people's feelings. I'm not saying to deny who you are. And I'm not saying that you don't care about your ideal customer's feelings. The whole point of God or the universe or whatever you want to believe, let's say God, you read in something else. I say God gave you the talents that you had, not so that you hide your light under a bushel basket, but you are out there helping your ideal customer with your custom tailored offerings for people just like them to help them get out of pain and into pleasure, right? So I know you may be sensitive, but if you really, really care about people, then you need to get out in front of people more and not less so that you can be the helper and giver God or goddess that you truly believe that you are. You're not lying to yourself about how much you care about people or want to help them, are you? So, of course not. So, just like you're the star of your own show of your life as the busy entrepreneur with the busy plate personally behind you, right? And against all odds, you will work to get points on the board every single day for your business because that's likely the vehicle to get you out of pain and into pleasure in your life too. Couple days ago, and some of you have been here for all of these, so you know, and we have the replay list if you missed it. A couple days ago, we talked about how, like, if you remember the movie The Truman Show, with not Drew Carey, Jim Carrey, with Jim Carrey starring in it. At some point, Truman realized the whole world could see him. Right? The story of his life was streaming to everybody live, and he was the star of a show, and he didn't even realize it. And everybody watching him was affected by everything he did and everything he said. And it's like, if you're the star of your own show, do you want to be the martyr nailed to the cross, or do you want to get down off the cross because you need the wood and you're going to make something happen today? And so, if you were Truman in a Truman Show, would the audience watching your show applaud? Or would they be like, not again? He's just going to curl up on the on the carpet and just stream stuff off the phone, or listen to a bunch of feel good stuff, but not actually implement because too afraid of rejection, too afraid of pissing somebody off, too afraid of the refunds and the unsubscribes, right? And it's not easy to deal with rejection. It can become easier as you get more experience with it, of course. And it's hard not to get a thicker skin, even if it's low and slow, while you're dealing with the unsubscribes, the rejections, the refunds, right? But we have to drive home the point that you have to quit taking it personally, right? You've got a moral obligation to serve a certain slice of humanity through your gifts. That's why you have those gifts, right? So Q-tip as an acronym, quit taking it personally, is my reminder to you as an entrepreneur, especially because you're going to get a disproportionate amount of rejection over the average human living their everyday life. We all get it. But the entrepreneur, especially if you're a solopreneur, you have a super small team, like maybe, yes, you have a team member, but like they're editing your videos, right, to free up time so you can actually work your business otherwise. That might make sense for you to invest in before a customer service rep, but please at some point get a customer service rep because I'm telling you that will help. But even with a customer service team, right? And even if you're delegating like a champion, you have to quit taking it personally when people in your family question you being an entrepreneur, or you're making money, but your husband, wife, significant other doesn't think it's enough yet. Or, still in all, customer service team might bring a more upset customer to you. There's an issue off the beaten path and they need you to respond to it or tell them what to do to respond to it. And you're still getting exposed to rejection anyway. There's never going to come a day personally and or professionally, that you can completely avoid rejection, especially as an entrepreneur. So if you don't want to stay a wantrepreneur and you want to break on through to the other side to become a true entrepreneur, that's cool. But Q-tip, you have to keep taking it personally. You have to quit taking it personally. Sorry, right? So it's a reminder to you to stop being as sensitive as you are so that you're still you. You're going to be sensitive, some of you disproportionately over others. I get it. But don't sweat someone else's negativity because a lot of times it has nothing to do with you at all, right? They just have the personality of a dirty diaper anyway, and then you came into the scope of their life. However, you might have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, or they buy a product, a service, an offering from you. They want help, but they're not ready for it yet. So, you know what? I'm just going to put it back. I just want my money back, right? Or they just complain because, they're really more of a martyr nailed to the cross than getting down off the cross to use the wood to construct what they want in their lives. And that's not on you. That's on them, right? The performance of others in your life, personally and or professionally. I want you to think about this. The performance of others is not a direct mirror of your efforts. Especially if you are working the hardest and doing the best that you can. And if you have a team and nothing and nobody's perfect, but you got a strong little team going, beginner, intermediate, even advanced students in mind, the performance of others is not automatically a perfect mirror of your efforts. So don't jump to conclusions. Don't own everything, knee jerk reaction, and end up marinating in misery when it might not be necessary in the first place. So, whenever you do or say anything, especially as an entrepreneur, every email that you send, every social post that you do, right? The content you put on your website, whenever you go live, right? Whenever you do or say anything, just do your best to remind your sensitive self that you can't control the entire outcome. You are doing your best to pitch the most perfect, polished and professional ball that you can given the facts and circumstances. But you will always be pitching your content, your lives, your emails. You cannot control what happens on the receiving end past a certain amount of preparation. At some point, you have to let your content out in the universe. At some point, you have to let those emails go out into the universe and find the people who are ready now, who know, like, and trust you enough to take action now. And that's not going to be everybody. Even once you get to be a very experienced marketer, I could tell you right now, 10% conversion rate, that's like unicorn time. Like, people can do it. So if you're like, oh my gosh, 10%. So out of 100 people that I approach, I might be lucky if I get 5 to 10% of them to take action, especially buy my offerings. Yup. But that's true whether you're a huge brick and mortar legacy brand or you're a grassroots revolution doing whatever it is you're doing out of your home or anything in between. That's just probability and statistics. It's nothing personal. It's just the institution in which all of we entrepreneurs have to be in. So quit taking it personally, or Q-tip really, encapsulates that truism. So whenever you do or say anything, I want you to remind your more sensitive self that you can't control the whole outcome. You just can't. Life's all about risks, and you should definitely take calculated risks in order to reduce your risk of failure and increase your odds of success. But at a certain point, you've got to pitch the ball, it's got to get out of your hands, and you let it go, right? The more you pitch, the more tight and the more successful you are at hitting your target. Right? And you get better at doing the thing by doing the thing. But at the end of the day, there's only so much that you can do. So for those of you where this does apply, you need to brush off the analysis paralysis and make a move. You have to do it, okay? And you have to avoid the temptation as best you can. And the more mindful you are, and the more you catch yourself in the act, the more you remind yourself of Q-tip. You might want to write that down on a little post-it or something and put it where, you do your work, where maybe disproportionately, more likely than not, you're going to receive the rejection you're going to receive during the day, right? And there is a saying, I don't want to say that Dan Kennedy said this, somebody else that wasn't Dan Kennedy said this, that's a big wig when it comes to marketing and sales. They said, if you haven't pissed somebody off by lunchtime, you're not reaching enough people. They're not out to tell you to be bombastic and to be like a pain in the butt and to be polarizing and pushy and aggressive. It's just that in the course of being assertive and reaching as many people as you need to get that one, maybe two people out of 10 to say yes to your offers, you're going to have 8 to 9 of them that will say no. And maybe most of them will be happy to stay in your, following, to stay on your email list. And some will say, nah, never mind, I'm out, and unsubscribe or leave. But so what? Because if you're doing the content marketing every day, persistently and consistently, and with the frequency that you are, some will and some won't, and move on, right? More people are coming. There's more where that came from. So there's going to be another 10 people that will get onto that email list over time. Another 10 people that will go to your following. Another up to 10 people that start going to your lives if you do them persistently and consistently enough. And your brand-based community will get bigger and your email list will get bigger. And between those two things and a great website of your own out there through which you drive all that traffic to your business to do more business, guess what? Over time, your income goes up too. But like I said, the bigger you are, the harder the fall can feel. You have to understand, the bigger you blow up your email list, the more unsubscribes you may get. The more sales that you do, if your stuff isn't final sale, like digital download only should always be final sale, right? They can't return that. But, if they buy access to a course, you can close them out of the course. For my coaches and course creators, I get that. But you know what? Like, the more you sell, the more you're going to get some people say, you know what, I need a refund. And so you have to be able to get to a point where you understand that that's part of the game, and you are going to do the best that you can to avoid that temptation to be so sensitive to everything, because otherwise you end up doing nothing or almost nothing. And then what happens? You get to December 31st, 2022, and you look back and go, oh, I didn't hit many or any of my goals this year. Knew it. And your husband, wife, significant other is probably sitting there going, and I knew it too. You want that? Of course you don't want that. So I want you to resolve to learn from whatever's happening, because sometimes we did mess up and we get better at doing the thing by doing the thing, but we all started a fund of level of experience and knowledge of 0. So we're going to get better. Our offerings are going to get better. Our customer service is going to get better. Our website will get better, etc. Over time. You have to start somewhere to get better, right? So if there's some sort of gift in the garbage that's your takeaway, then you sift through that garbage to learn what you need to learn. And if there's a complaint, but maybe it has a kernel of truth in it, maybe, most won't, but some will, then you resolve to learn from whatever it happens. You do it better next time. And then it's impossible to have an epic fail. Know that you did your level best. Pull an Elsa for friggin' Frozen. Let it go and move on. And if you do need to implement or iterate, by all means, you do that. Being sensitive to the extreme isn't healthy. It's toxic. If you can have any control over anything, it's your own environment. We're not just talking about your physical environment. You control the environment of your mind, which affects your beliefs through thoughts and actions, right? We've talked about that before too. So again, the playlist, so you can catch up on any replays that you missed, any live/replays that you missed, is the first pinned comment, both live and on the replay. Okay, so I want you to strive to make the environment of your life the best that it can be, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, where applicable. And so we talked about your dream team and how they can help you, even if you're on public assistance, even if you're not on public assistance, but you're broke. And then especially how many more possibilities open up to you when you even have a little bit of money, or what you should be doing with your net profit. And, that's investing back into your business so you can iterate and grow and do better as an entrepreneur, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually, right? So we want that to be something that you can iterate, evolve, and grow into. You're not going to iterate, evolve, and grow into anything if you're taking everything personally or almost everything personally. So, la 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 la. And so, hold on. Bravery University. I know that some of my followers, students from other things, Bravery University. I'm going to put the link to Bravery University. That's actually the very first course I ever put out back in 2017. And it's a good perennial evergreen seller for me. When I started this 31-day deal, I wasn't necessarily thinking of Bravery University, but I've had people reach out to me behind the scenes. And I'm like, I don't do one on one coaching. But if you need extra help because you are oversensitive, or you feel you're not brave, or you engage in a lot of self sabotage, and like, sure, if you need that licensed talk therapist, that psychiatrist is part of the dream team to help you succeed more as an entrepreneur and just as a healthier, well-adjusted human being, but you'd like some life coaching too. I don't do one-on-one anymore, but Bravery University contains a lot of the advice I would have given you anyway, especially to deal with more emotionally abusive people in the workplace when you're at work and you're self-employed, God forbid in your home, and the self-sabotage that you do with yourself, like how to break anxiety loops and things like that. So again, I'm going into my 9th year of being a coach, and I was an entrepreneur years before that. So Bravery University might be something for you if you're listening to this Q-tip stuff and going, I know intellectually you're right, but mentally or emotionally, I'm afraid I'm gonna stay stuck. Okay, so Bravery University might help you if you need that. Um, so look, another thing I'm going to say, and then I'll get to the student comments because I see that there's comments here. And also on the replay, if you have questions or comments, please, by all means, put them here. I'll do a 1-day look back at least to try and respond to your stuff, let you know that you've been seen. So granted, when somebody else comes into your sphere of influence, okay, and let's talk about a customer, or at least someone that is on your email list, or at least someone in your brand based community, and they make a comment and it's not that great. It's snarky. They're challenging you. They're complaining about the price or whatever. Granted, when somebody else comes into your sphere of influence like that, they're going to bring in with them their own beliefs, thoughts, and actions. And they might be marinating in their own misery. And there's only so much you can do about that. Those people, just like you, have their own outside factors that they're encountering and living with before they even reach into your space as an entrepreneur. So, therefore, I understand that you might be overly sensitive to their words, their deeds, their comments, their complaints, their butting heads with you. But you have to understand they may not be acting negatively towards you directly, but in general, and lucky you just so happen to get caught in the crossfire, or they're just one of those people that can never be satisfied. So you could practically be walking on water like, say, Jesus, and you will have people complaining, I guess you don't know how to swim, right? Like, some people you can never please, personally and or professionally. So I don't want you to read into things past a certain point. Everyone else is not your puzzle to go solve. The only main puzzle that you have to solve is your own. And then if you have loved ones and dependents in your nuclear family, sure, you worry about them too. But you need to stop overall taking everything personally. Q-tip, quit taking it personally and stop being so hypersensitive, because it really does you no good personally or professionally. And I know this is easy to say, but I have to say it. And in time, you'll be better at doing it if you really want to. If you consciously or subconsciously want to be a martyr and nail yourself to a cross, INRI, right? Can't help it. My life's so hard. Then you know what? If you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. You're going to be a martyr. So you need to get better at, and maybe your dream team, some of those folks help you. You need to get better at not allowing someone else to contaminate you with their negativity. Okay, whether they mean to be negative and hurtful or they're just saying what they're saying, they don't even realize what they're doing to you. They're not your puzzle to solve. You can't win them all. Someone else's mayhem and foolishness may cause you to flinch reflexively when they're first initially exposing you to it. And that's natural. You're a human being. I am not telling you that you are not entitled to your initial reactions, but this stuff needs to slide off of you the sooner the better. Make like you're a trash can and someone's trying to dump trash in you, but if you don't want it, put on the lid. Let their trash slide right off of you. Shake it off and keep going, because I don't know how you get to December 31st, 2022 and you're living the life that of your dreams, whatever's really realistic for you to get this year and that you set goals for or that you desire or both. How are you going to get there if you let people dump their trash on you and instead of a hurdle for you to jump over and clear, it's a blockade and you're letting it stop you, right? So if you're a super sensitive person, the Q-tip is something you really have to work on a lot. For some of us, we may just have a bad day and look at the post-it and say Q-tip. You know what? You're right, Stacey. If you really need the help, something like Bravery University might help you. Enlisting the assistance of various members of your dream team to help expedite things might help you. Maybe running both parallel. It depends on your facts and circumstances. There's a hidden benefit to Q-tip as well. When it's clear that you aren't easily shaken, the people who are specifically trying to be the bullies and trolls in your life, which is probably way fewer people than you realize, but still, the bullies and trolls of your life who meant for you to take things personally, they do get bored and they move on to easier prey. I am also going to recommend a book that I've recommended to some of my students in the past, and that is A Highly Sensitive Person: How to Thrive When the World Overwhelms You. And the author is Elaine, N as a Nancy, middle initial, Aaron, Aron, N as a Nancy, PhD. Okay, and it's not like an affiliate link. I just gave you the name of the person. All right. So Bridget says, I'm getting to the comments now. So the teaching proper was over. If you have any questions about the teaching proper, ask me in the comments down below, including people on the replay. You guys matter too. And Bridget says, I am such a heart on my sleeve kind of gal. I also can't play poker because I'm in character. All the feels show up on my face. Marquina says, I've watched a couple of the 7 a.m. videos, just not at 7 a.m. That's cool. I'm going to test 7 a.m. for like another couple days, and I might push it up to like 8 a.m. I'm going to experiment a little with the pre-edited videos. But then, I'll probably go back to like 9, 10 a.m. for them once we're in February moving forward. And I'm quote unquote only doing these live streams on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sorry, at Wednesdays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The other weekdays will have the pre-edited videos in them. That's the plan so far. As long as Barney can keep, up with my stuff because he still has tech issues in Cebu, Philippines. So, and people are laughing back and forth. Daniela says, we have a weekend to catch up. Planathon and these videos are on the to-do list. Good girl. Kim Arnold said, I finally remember to turn on notifications. They help. They're not perfect. A lot of bigger YouTubers are like, even when I poll people and they click the notifications, some say they still don't get it. But YouTube's like, if you click the bell notification and select all, you are way more likely to get pinged about not only pre-recorded content that gets published, but of course, when I go live, right? So Marquina says, I think the card the guy gave me had his name on one side and the QR code on the back. There needed to be instructions or something to connect the dots between the code and the message, I think. Oh, okay. That's really weird. Oh, because Bridget said, I'm designing signs and stuff for in-person shows with QR codes. But why a business card? If they have that, they have your info, right? And Marquina said, hi, Ginny, what's going on? Marquina said, have you seen the business cards with the QR code on it? Looks like hieroglyphics. And so Bridget had said she's designing signs and stuff for in-person shows with QR codes, but why a business card? I know business cards are perfectly prehistoric, but I still get people, saying, oh my goodness, what about business cards? Now, granted, if you are doing expos or craft fairs, like for the products people, you're doing a lot of craft fairs and local stuff. But even coaches and course creators, different types of service professionals, they could be going to expos, they could be going to conventions, and maybe they're trying to hand out business cards just so they somehow punch a hole into someone's world. But for day to day, like if you're not out IRL or in real life very much, business cards are kind of meh because you really need to go where the attention is, and that is social media. So anybody that wants to pee in your Cheerios about content marketing, they're trying to get you to buy an ads course. And I'm telling you, ads make sense once you've got a nice base of content marketing going on. Because if you're driving ads to like a failing product or a failing concept, Google it. There's a saying out there that says paid ads can make a failing concept fail faster. You want to work out the kinks. You want to get a brand-based community. You want a newbie if they're driven to you to see, on your Facebook page, your Facebook group, your Instagram, your TikTok, you're posting at least daily. This isn't like a deader than disco when disco's had its comeback sort of concept or brand. Like it's worth it for me to at least join the community and follow. And maybe immediately or not too long into it, I'll get on the email list because I want the freebie, the coupon, or both. And I'll just hold it in escrow or enjoy the freebie. And I'll just keep marinating in the group that hopefully isn't a bitch board or misery group. And, then when I feel like I know, like, and trust the brand or the company or the brand leader enough, then I'll buy something from them. Right. But if you're just shoveling people blind at products, I'm not saying it can never work. It's just that you need a lot of money and a lot of exposures to have ads work. And if you don't have a profitable business, you shouldn't be spending money on ads because for all you know, you have a failing concept as is, maybe some tweaks or something, and you can get organic proof of concept. And then once it's fiscally responsible for you, I'm all about running ads. I'm not saying ads are bad. Ads are usually bad for beginners. Okay, that's my thing about ads. I don't even remember how I fell into that. Oh, because the whole QR codes and all that. What's a Q-tip memo? Oh, because Kim Arnold said I put a Q-tip memo in the notes on my phone. And Lenore was asking what a Q-tip memo is. And Kim answered, I wrote myself a memo so I would understand what Q-tip stands for. And Bridget says, oh, morning brain didn't read all the words. Yes, if your niche is younger, that might work. Lenore says, slow on the uptake this morning. It's Saturday, everybody. I agree with Kim. Lenore, it's okay. Kim says, do the QR codes on the business cards let them automatically add that person to their contacts on their phone without typing it in? I'm not a huge QR expert here because I'm teaching people how to do stuff without the IRL because a lot of people need that. They're just only going to do their businesses online. Who's introverted, who's immunosuppressed like me, who just given their facts and circumstances, they're not going to have a brick and mortar presence. And COVID or no COVID, they're not going to be doing much, if any, expos or fairs or any in-person events anyway. So the whole concept of the QR code is kind of lost on you unless you're doing IRL or in real life stuff. So I don't know. Lenora says, have you had trouble when a student files a credit card dispute 60 plus days after signing up? I feel like it's a losing game when the seller when they're dealing with the bank and Stripe. I will say this, okay, because it's very rare through almost 9 years of doing this that I have had that issue, but I've had it, Lenore, and that's a good question. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that, and you can set up your invoices through ClickFunnels, Stripe, whatever. It needs to have a detailed name of your business because the banks will try to protect their customers, of course, and Stripe's just trying to cover their butt, of course, but Stripe's not out to get you. I've had one or two disputes over 8+ years doing this. So I know that it helps when on their receipt that they get and on the credit statement that they get, they not only have a detailed name of the company, they have a detailed product name. So trying to be too short doesn't always help you. So that's part one. Then the bank has a harder time. The bank has a much harder time, and the customer has a much harder time. If, say, you had a 30-day money back guarantee and they're trying to go outside of that, if your website's terms of service, terms of use is detailed, your privacy policy, you need to have one, your disclaimers, and depending upon your business model, your earning disclaimers have to be on there and good. But if your terms of service, terms of use back you up, then it's a lot harder for the bank to be successful in their claim. And I know at Stripe, you upload your proofs and you can upload several pieces of proofs. So a detailed receipt, and then, links going to your terms of service and anything else that's applicable. Stripe can tell them no, and the bank can tell them no, especially if they're way over their 30-day money back guarantee period. Again, for my students who have digital download only stuff, do not allow for refunds at all. And of course, you may have less sales as a result, but you're not going to have people like digitally raping you either. Do you know what I mean? So those are my thoughts where I'm sitting right now. Carol said, I've had to remove people both personally and professionally because they were too negative. Good girl. Good girl. If I'd listened to them, I would not have accomplished what I've already accomplished in the past. I've owned several businesses over the past 30 years, hair salons, a cleaning business, and now my handmade business. I've had to learn it's more about someone else's attitude and not mine. Of course, the older you get, the more wise you get, the more experienced you get, and if you care about people at all, which most people do, you're going to be super careful anyway, because you care about people and you know they're precious. And the older you get, the more likely you're going to engage in CYA, which is cover your, you know what. Between that lattice work of things, you tend to get more perspective about the fact that it's probably not you at all. Not because you're like, it's not me. I'm all arrogant. It could never be about me. It's like you've covered all your bases. You're making sure they stay covered. And you are, using your talents and gifts. The whole purpose is getting them out of pain and into pleasure, not just selling stuff. It becomes the KLT factor, the know, like, and trust factor between your brand, yourself as a brand leader, and the general public, paying customers and not yet paying customers. It gets easier and you get fewer crappy people over time. I will share one other tip about how to kind of upgrade your customer base in a second. And a lot of my paid students already know this. Bridget says, I'm looking at a tap card that sends people to my contact information and sends them a links page for all my social media. I want to start doing in-person events again. Well, cool. And that's your choice for sure. In real life and word of mouth are not dead. Okay. All the lockdowns made that kind of hard for a while, but I think a lot of the world is now resistant to just locking down again. And I want to stop talking about that because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. That's not what my channel's about anyway, but still. So I think from here on out, having a hybrid approach at the very least works. But if you're an online business and you're chugging along online and you're asking if you should have a brick and mortar business, I'm almost always going to tell you no. You don't need the extra expense. The couple of students who didn't listen to me through the years, I don't know of one that said, oh, thank God I have a brick and mortar business and double the overhead. I do know of some students with products-based businesses, whether they're handmade or not, who maybe they got into like a fee splitting arrangement with pre-existing brick and mortar businesses to get their stuff out that way. I don't mind that if you're products-based, handmade or not. But I don't prefer people to automatically start spending money on brick and mortar if they don't need to. The trend is very, very hard against that right now. And I do not see that reversing anytime in the near future. Just my opinion for whatever it's worth. All right, so let's see. Does anybody have any questions about my training today. Oh, and if you've not gotten this year's opt-in, it's down below. Don'tbeafakeguru.com. You can just go straight to that website. And it's 10 ways that the public, upon their first impression of you, might feel that you're a fake guru, and 10 ways to, make sure that they don't believe that, really. So it's a nice PDF that has a lot of, you know, it's not a checklist per se, but it shows you those 10 things and like what you can do to like knock these things off your list or cover them or upgrade them, because you never really do get a second chance to make a good first impression. And again, 98% of people won't buy from you the first time you expose them to your website or an offer. But, 60% of them will never buy from you if you don't have a website and or you don't come across like a real business. I love that everybody is saying, and rightfully so, that most business will be conducted online, and especially for coaches and course creators, like we have tons of growth left in our industry because we do. However, every last yahoo is trying to be a coach now. And so a lot of people are getting burned, and so they're going to be more picky. They're going to open up another tab in their browser and try to suss you out before just slamming money down on your offerings, no matter what you're selling. Daniela says, we do not have a refund policy, only an exchange. Our FAQ page explains why. This may deter some people from buying from us. Because of the nature of our products, we would not be able to resell them. Well, you're doing a lot of OOAK, or one-of-a-kind products. Artwork and just handmade, and no, I could see that you would have a problem with that. Bridget says, I'm going to make a big Q-tip sign for my office. You should. We all should. Because to varying degrees, we can become sensitive. Even if you're not normally a super sensitive person, everybody has a bad day, and our skin isn't as thick as we'd like it to be. And stuff can get to us. So that's why I'm saying have like a post-it note or a sign that has the Q-tip acronym on it, and remind yourself of that. Because again, you should be very careful as an entrepreneur to make a good first impression, to be vettable and unforgettable when somebody's just discovering you, right? You never get that second chance to make a first impression. And that is still your responsibility. And of course, to have your act together. But past a certain point, you can control what you're pitching to the public, whether it's content marketing, selling to them, whatever. You can only control that so much. Once it's out of your hands and people are receiving it, it's on them. And a lot of folks bring their negativity with them. And if they do mouth off to you, it is hard, or they do unsubscribe from your list. You could be, if you're really sensitive, just upset about that. Now, if somebody unsubscribes from your list and they're vicious about it too, it's very rare, but I've had it happen through 8 going on 9 years of this. You go, whoa, but like, and you could be a native New Yorker like me and have thick skin. And sometimes you're like, whoa, and I got to take a minute. But remember what I told you guys a couple days ago. So if you missed any of the replays, we do have the link down below. It's 31 days of live coaching every single day in January 2022, right? But remember what I told you. Elephants out on the African, plains, they are surrounded by these like little teeny gnats or these CT flies, right? And they're constantly biting them. Do you think the elephant just sits down or lies down and goes, that's it, I'm going to lay down and die and let all these flies eat me up? Because, they're not going to stop biting and I don't know what to do. I'm a big elephant. I'm a big target, right? The bigger your brand, the bigger of a target you can be. Even if you're doing everything you can to be a giver god or goddess with your content marketing, your relationship-based marketing, and you are totally making good offers to your audience, and it is what they want and it is what they need, you can still get crap. You can get those swarms of tsetse flies biting on you, of the elephant of your business. But you know what the elephant does? They walk along the plane and they swat the air with their trunk, and they just keep on moving forward and doing what they need to do. They don't lie down and go, oh my gosh, all these flies gnawing at me, so I guess all these flies are right. I should just die and let them feed off me. No human with their right mind would do something like that. So even when you get to be bigger and you are a bigger target, you do get more complaints. You do get more unsubscribes. As long as more people are joining the fold than leaving it, you're okay. That's another reason why the pre-recorded stuff that's on my channel will help you, because you will be able to drive more traffic to your business to do more business. And of course, you have those three important macro conversions. There's micro conversions too, but those three macro conversions, most people won't buy from you right away. So it is important that you get them to join you on social. It is important to get them to get on your email list. Some people can do those things back to back because it's free for them to do so. And then some people, they need to kind of like check out for a while, and then they'll get on the email list to get the freebie, the coupon, or both, depending upon your business model. And a lot of people will not buy immediately. Some will, so it's worth it, but some won't. Some need some time, right? For whatever the reason, they need to get to know you more. I'm a jerk. I get on somebody's email list. I need to check them out for a while before I go buy anything from them. I want to see if they're a real business. I want to see if they market persistently and consistently. I want to see that they take their clientele seriously. I want to see if they really are talking shop in their content, or is it just buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff? Because you know what? Yes, our feeds as businesses on social should have products or representations of services or course based announcements, depending upon our business model. They should have sales based announcements, right? You're a business. Of course, you're going to have that stuff on your feed. But if it's nothing other than buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, and you're not already a huge legacy brand that has a lot of know, like, and trust baked into it, you're not going to get many, if any, sales. I can't tell you you won't get any sales, but if you're like, this content marketing stuff is for the birds, it's because you're not building up a community where you're talking shop with people directly in the comments, indirectly through the content that you're publishing, where they go, they really know and understand a person like me and my very specific needs. And the best part is people pay more for custom crafted products, solutions, offerings than they would something more generic. It's just like if you're looking to get a suit, you're going to buy something off the rack far cheaper, but you expect to pay more for something that's custom tailored to you that probably has very upgraded, up-leveled materials as well. You get what you pay for, and most adults that are, dealing with a full deck understand that. So how you will tend to get less negativity, raise your prices. Raise your prices, and especially if you're one of a kind, you're creating art on demand, and or you sell digital downloads, those things should be final sale no matter what. You will get less sales, but you will have less weirdos trying to game the system, right? Or pirate your digital only stuff or whatever. So if you guys like what you're hearing, please make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Forget it helping me out. It's going to help the people who already subscribe to my channel, because they're more likely to see this live while it's live, and they're more likely to get served up about the replay after this goes into replay mode. All right. So I'm sorry. Daniela says, have a wonderful day. Everyone will finish watching on the replay. Thank you, Stacey. Really good info. You're amazing. Girl, you're amazing because you've been quite the implementation beast. And I know it's been paying off in your business, Daniela, and I'm very proud of you. Bridget says, oh, speaking of not getting hurt, my only unsubscribe was an old friend from Alaska. I was hurt, mad, and then told myself that she wasn't interested in it, but is still my friend. And that is a very smart and wise thing to do. For those people who are in the Handmade Titan University community from Renee Christine's awesome offering, I think the card's still open for that. So if you want to go and get that course, she really only relaunches it once a year. I know she's updated it. So I don't have the link on me, but if you're on her email list, she's telling you, she's telling you that it's open. So you want to get in on it. But I will say, so what made me think of Handmade Titan University? Oh yeah. So one of her students, Adwa Cooper, I made friends with Adwa, and don't even ask me why I was in there. It's because I found her through Ultimate Architect, because I was building a website for my own business and then for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. And I'm redoing my website now. But if you want to see the Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill website, that's an Ultimate Architect site. So it does work. And we flow quite a bit of traffic there. And we get quite a few sales there every single week. So it totally earns its keep and then some every single week. So that's kind of how I found Renee. And then I fell in love with her so much. I'm like, oh, I'll get Handmade Titan University too. And Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill sells edible products, right? As part of our edible product line collection. So that said, I made friends with Adwa Cooper in there, and she's really great. And at one point, Adwa had said something to me on the side where she was like, I can't stand it. I do really well with sales to strangers, but to my family and friends, most of them are not interested at all. And it hurts because I care about them. And I had said to her, well, number one, you have proof of concept because, some people are stuck going, well, my business makes money, but it's predominantly family and friends. I don't count that as proof of concept. When you get people out in the wild that don't know you from Adam, but they open up another tab, they sniff out your brand and you, and they get to know, like, and trust you that sooner or later they make a purchase, those are real sales, if you ask me. Sure, everybody's paying you money, but you have a business that works, that every piston in the engine is firing, and the car of your business can drive forward and become five-figure, multiple five, six-figure and higher, right? But you can't really get there off just selling to family and friends. So I was like, well, at least your business is real. At least you have proof of concept. Plus, just think about it. So just like Bridget said, not everybody whose family and friends are your customers, are your ideal customer. They don't have that particular main pain point or main passion point that your ideal customer has. And I'm like, would be honest, out of your family and friends, are there people who really are your ideal customer? Like if you didn't know them from Adam, you'd be surprised that they weren't buying from you because they have that pain point or that passion point and your offerings match right up with them. And she's like, you know what, Stacey? No. And so now it makes more sense that they're not buying. They're family, they're friends, but they're not necessarily customers. Now, sometimes legit, we have people that it's like the two concentric circles. There's some overlap. And I get that. And that's legit. But honestly, you want to get sales from strangers. And that's really the only real way that your business can scale and grow anyway. Does that make sense? What's the URL for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill? It's www.joesdairybarandgrill.com, all one word, but I'll put it here. And actually, if you went to joesdairybar.com without the and grill, we own both domain names, but they both direct or redirect to the same like server and website. So either one would have gotten you there. Thank you, Stacey, says Kim Arnold. You are welcome, you guys. All right, I'm going to put this into replay mode. I'll take a quick sip, give it, because there is a little bit of a delay when you go live on any platform, including YouTube. Just want to make sure you guys are in a good place, and then I will let you go because it's Saturday and all. Funnel Dynasty students, your last bonus will go up today. And I'll have the designer make it pretty and swap out on Monday. But I did want to make sure you guys were all put in a good place because I have 2 other courses that I have to remaster and re-release later on this business quarter. One will be Social Gram Shortcut, my Instagram deep dive course. And the other one will be Social Talk Shortcut, my TikTok deep dive course. This is how to do content marketing as an actual business owner. And it has nothing to do with dancing, singing, silly stuff, or trying to be an influencer. Being an influencer is a decent business model. Most of my students are not coming at this from the influencer model. If you are, the courses will still help you. But see you guys tomorrow, everybody. Bye-bye. Happy Saturday.